Bonito León, Guanajuato, que pasas por tanto pueblo. No pases por Salamanca, que ahí me hierra el recuerdo. Vete rodeando veredas, no pases porque me muero. El Cristo de tu montaña, del cerro del jubilete, consuelo de los que sufren y adoración de la gente, el Cristo de tu montaña, del cerro del jubilete.
Muchas gracias por estar aquí, muchas gracias por interesarse por el trabajo y por la forma de vida de nuestras comunidades en este tema que sabemos que hoy por hoy es muy importante para México y para Estados Unidos. Les vamos a mostrar de manera muy sintética y muy rápida el trabajo que tiene el gobierno del estado de Guanajuato en cuanto al tema de migración, para que puedan tener ustedes una idea macro de qué es lo que pasa en México y qué es lo que pasa particularmente en nuestro estado en cuanto al fenómeno migratorio. En nuestro estado, que es Guanajuato y San Luis Potosí, 1 de cada 8 guanajuatenses vive en Estados Unidos. Ustedes lo van a ver en Santiago Capitiro, pero como Santiago hay muchas comunidades en nuestro estado donde prácticamente están vacías, no hay hombres. La mayor parte de las personas que viven en estas comunidades son mujeres, niños y adultos mayores.
¿En qué nivel de estudio están? And he just says he can bet that every one of them has it in their mind already to skip the town, leave.
Muchas de estas comunidades uno no se explica cómo sobreviven si no es por la remesa de los migrantes, porque son comunidades que no tienen el campo, no hay agua, no hay cultivos, no hay industria, no hay comercio, y sin embargo la comunidad se ve medianamente próspera. Y se ve que se están construyendo casas, se construyen clínicas, la escuelita, y eso es únicamente gracias al envío de las remesas.
Miriam took us to see some houses this morning. She showed Tony and Alice our house, but we also went to see some other homes, and some of them empty. And she said half the homes here are empty.
What did they say? Because a lot of the owners are Asian states? Is that why?
Yeah, because they had no work, so they had to go up north.
Mire, aquí esta casa es de una muchacha, María Méndez.
María Méndez.
Ahora es Vargas allá,
Sí,
su
sí,
esposa
sí,
es Vargas.
sí.
Y ahí están, están las casas solas todas.
Sí.
Ahorita como estamos
Pero
nosotros.
cuando están listos de regresar, tienen su casa.
Sí.
Pues ya para mí serán como unos 10 años, porque pues ya, aparte de esos 10 se me hacen muchos más, porque pues
Sí.
es mi hijo y pues yo quisiera verlo, pero pues
Sí,
no,
por supuesto.
no podemos.
Sí.
Muchos saludos, Lupe, que te acordaste de mí, y que allá me mires, solo Dios sabe, hijo, si nos volvemos a ver, hijo. Muchas felicidades, hijo, allá donde estás. Que Dios te socorra, que Dios te cuide y te favorezca, y que nos vuelvanos a ver, hijo.
Well, she's been here with them for 5 years, and her parents live up in Akron, and she doesn't want to go back up.
Sure.
And when she heard that we were coming, and when I came to the house, she thought that I was going to take her back up there. And so she was afraid of me.
Poor kid.
Yeah. So she's warming up real well, starting to now.
I'd like to hear from them what are their goals? Why do they want to stay in Mexico, or they want to go someplace else?
She wants to be a teacher. ¿Y tú?
Económico, licenciado en Administración de Empresas.
Administration, Business Administration. Tú que tienes esa sonrisa de...
Actor.
Actor.
Governor Juan Carlos Romero Hicks, Licenciada Susana Guerra, el Presidente of Santiago Capitiro, Guanajuato, Fernando Villagomez, dear distinguished dignitaries and fellow citizens, as Mayor of the City of Plymouth, Indiana, and on behalf of our entire community, it is my honor and privilege to extend a sincere token of friendship to the leaders and citizens of Santiago Capitiro, Mexico. I look forward to building and strengthening our unique relationship. Sincerely, Gary Cook, Mayor, City of Plymouth.
A Santiago Capitiro vino un grupo de turistas, venían de Estados Unidos para apoyar al migrante. Ay, 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 ay. Grupo Corazón y Manos subieron a la montaña del cerro de Culiacán a recibir la energía que la montaña les da. Ay, 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 ay. Grupo Corazón y Manos. Por manos traen un zarape, por escudo un corazón, como misión una meta. Ayudar de corazón, ay, 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 ay. Grupo Corazón y Manos. Yo le pido a este grupo que al volver a su país les encargo a mis paisanos, pues todos somos iguales. Ay, 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 ay. Grupo Corazón y Mano. También les quiero dar las gracias como habitante de esta comunidad a todos ustedes y les encargo, así como se los pido aquí en mi canción, a todos mis paisanos que andan por allá, porque todos andan sufriendo y se los encargo a todos en general. Gracias.
Mr. Jose's father, Jose, has been here since '72, I believe. And I just kind of walked away thinking, I've been in this area since '93, and this is more his home than it is mine. you know, and how different it still is, and unless we are real intentional, we're so separated, you know, and it's made me want to be much more intentional, you know, because it was a lot of fun.
Every day has been a very rich experience for me, and have had the opportunity to at least start a foundation for working on Spanish and a real desire to learn the language now, and have hopes of coming back with my family.
At the library, I was still very tense. I felt myself being very tense in that environment and being nervous. I know some Spanish, but was way too nervous to even try to utter a sentence, and because I didn't want to sound foolish. And the home doesn't really lower that barrier, and I just felt like I was, you know, just comfortable.
I guess I'm learning that what they value, and I think that they're very proud of their homes, but what you see from the street is totally different. It's almost like examining their culture. What you see on the outside, or maybe what my former beliefs were, it's just like opening the door to their house. You walk in and it's like, wow, it's totally different than the view you get from the street, from the outside. It was really neat for me to see that one wing of the house is sort of set up for offices. So Mary Elena, the doctor, her office is just one room, right when you walk in the one entrance of the home. And they've got 4 plastic chairs lined up in the hallway, and that's the shared waiting room between the doctor's office and the dentist. They don't keep appointments. It's just strictly on a walk-in basis. She sees about 4 patients a day. It's 80 pesos. We've had lots of interesting conversations with our family. One of the things that I asked the family is what we could do to help Capitiro. Either the residents of Capitiro in Plymouth or here or both. Mary Elena feels that it would be very beneficial for somebody to come here and teach them English, that they really need to learn and understand English. Both the doctors in our house, I think, would really, really like to go to the United States.
To make them understand us and us understand them, it was great, you know, and there's no way I would have done that if it wasn't just, you know, like Kevin was sitting there, I wouldn't have done that, you know, you just translate, you know, that struggle of getting to communicate, so that to me was great. Looking at the resources that the people have just in general, you know, you see how hardworking the people are going out to the field working, and I don't know how that would change my interaction with them there, but anytime you get understanding of here's how they live, here's how we live, I've seen your home, I've met your family in your village, I think it would improve it, make it more rich. It was, I think, overwhelming just to see how friendly and gracious the people were in the village, and I just remember how it made me feel. You know, just being there and having them do whatever they can just for you and making you feel so important. And that plays into interacting with people at the hospital back here. I think the thing I enjoyed most was staying in the village and getting a feel for what I kind of called the pulse of the village, the kind of rhythm. The animal sounds and the gas truck that wakes you up each morning, and, you know, going out to feed the livestock and sitting on the stoop in the afternoon, you know, things are in a pattern there, and I found that really comfortable. But I think I did come back with sort of a sadness because I see some of that breaking down in the village. And I've made a point, every Hispanic that I've seen in the emergency room, as long as I have time, I just ask them, you know, where are you from, whatever, and I tell them I was just in Capitiro, and about half of them have been from Capitiro. I'll take my computer into the exam room, you know, if I have time, and I'll punch that little movie that I put of the gas truck. I said, oh yes, gas Noel, and you see their face just the thing I mentioned before about how I felt in the village, how warm and acceptable, whatever, when I can make that connection with them here, I'm hoping that they feel a little bit of that here, because they probably feel going into a hospital, not knowing the language, whatever, sort of like, what are they saying, what are they doing, and when I can kind of reach out a little bit, you see them get a little more relaxed. I remember talking to one guy in the emergency room because asked him where he's from, and said, oh, I was in Capitiro, this was like 2 weeks. I remember saying, I was there 2 weeks ago. And he kind of looks at me and goes, why?
They want to go to the U.S. And
the risk they're willing to take in order to do that is really profound. They want to improve their life. They want a future. They're willing to really separate their families immensely. They're willing to even leave small children behind, you know, in order to advance their families and eventually reunite. But, you know, like the little girl in my house, she has lived in Capitiro for 5 years, and she's 6 years old, and her parents live in Indiana. Now, I can't imagine as a mother myself how difficult that would be to leave your children behind like that. But, you know, they want a better life, not only for themselves, but for their children, obviously, and the rest of the family.
My host family, when the first night or two that I was there, it was a little tense because my Spanish isn't as good as everybody else's. And the most I can do is translate in the present tense, and that's about it. So we had a little trouble with translating or trying to communicate back and forth. But as the week went on, we kind of learned where each one of us needed to go in order to make that happen. And the father in the house, when I first got there, I couldn't communicate with him at all. I just had a hard time understanding him. And the last day I was there, he said, "Your Spanish has improved over the time that you've been here." And so to be able to sit and communicate, it's like, but, you know, leaving was very hard, and I'm standing there in the doorway trying to tell them, you know, in my lousy Spanish, what a great time I had and how loving they were. And here's these 4 wonderfully beautiful Mexican women standing there crying, and I'm sitting there crying, and I'm not a crier either. Mm-hmm. And it was just a wonderful connection.
Really went, I guess, for several reasons. One is I just wanted to put a face to the whole thing that was happening with this immigration, and never being to Mexico before, not having any idea what it looked like, and you know, what are the socioeconomics and what's the landscape like. Just seeing it with your own eyes really is so important. You know, we're always trying to think of ways we can try to make Mexicans and Hondurans that come to our office more comfortable, and how can we take care of them better. And I thought, there's nothing I can do better than having been there, and that's turned out to be the case because everybody knows I've been there. I mean, I don't know how, but they come in, and I mean, I don't have to bring it up. They bring it up.
Dr. Muller went with you?
They all know, and it's neat, you know, because they really are excited about it. It also just gave me more of a desire to learn more Spanish too. So when I got, you know, I've been doing some studying. We communicated a bunch with our family, and you don't have to speak Spanish to go on a trip like this, is what I kind of came away with it. So.
Ella se va la vecilla africana, las golondrinas que de aquí se van, allá en el viento, ay, se verá extraviada buscando abrigo, ay, no lo encontrará. Junto a mi pecho hallará su nido en donde te halles, y la estación pasar. Yo fui el que estaba en la región perdida buscando abrigo y sin poder hallar. Es todo. Dice, tú eres que tu enojo no caiga sobre el mundo pecador. Tan puro es tu amor y tan hermoso que un día nos postramos a tus pies. No me atrevo a mirarte hacia los ojos, indigna que me siento hasta tu ser. Como quisiera